Good morning, our Agents Empowered crowd. I wanted to talk about something that has come up for me a handful of times in the last week. And the question that I want to ask is why is it so easy to keep promises to others, but it's so hard to keep them to ourselves? If someone asks me to go out to dinner and I commit and I put it on my calendar, the immense amount of guilt I feel if I'm going to be a last minute cancel, and the very rare occasion that I even do that, it's insane, right? Or someone's asked me to go to a hockey game and I say, yes, I'm going to be there. I say, I'm going to show up to a party. I'm going to be there. I'm going to travel for this event. I'm going to be there, right? My kid asked me to be at something at school. There's no chance I'm going to miss it, right? If I promise them. But one thing that we don't do is we often do not keep promises very well to ourselves. When it's just you, when you are the only one who knows about the promise, it becomes negotiable. Really, really negotiable. Okay. I've been thinking about this a lot because someone recently messaged me. There's a few of us doing 75 hard in the fast forward movement group. In fact, I think there's about 90 of us. And I have a text thread with 6 or 7 women here in the North Carolina market. And so, already this morning, at 5 o'clock, we've got tons of texts going off. Hey, go crush it, do the things. But I had someone message me and they were like, I'm so inspired by your 75 hard. The only time I've ever been able to do it is when I did it with a group of people. And then she called herself out and I thought it was so amazing. And she said, isn't that sad that I'll keep a promise to someone else, but not to myself? And it has been on my mind ever since that little ping went off in my DM. I love community. I love accountability work. That's why we're here. That's why we exist. But it really did make me pause and ask, why do we need someone else's eye on us to follow through on something we said that mattered to us? And part of this answer is just it's biology, right? So let's just it's there's not much we can do about it. We're wired for dopamine, right? There's a beautiful, beautiful chapter in Simon Sinek's book, Leaders Eat Last, that talks about all these chemicals in our brain. Today, I'll just get on dopamine because it's so important to the conversation we're having, but we are wired for dopamine. It's this little chemical reward that our brain gives us when we do something it sees as good. So historically, we needed dopamine to survive, right? We needed to find food. We got a dopamine hit. Escape danger, dopamine hit. Get social approval from your tribe, dopamine. It's how the brain told us, yep, that helped you stay alive. Let's do it again. But today, I don't know about you, but most of us go to the grocery store to get our food. Most of us are not running around trying to be avoided eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Life looks a lot different for us today than when this chemical was initially put into practice. So today we're still chasing it, but it's showing up through external validation for many of us in praise, recognition, likes, whether that's someone liking you or a literal click on your social media. I know I am that way. As soon as I post something, I'll be vulnerable here. I will refresh that puppy and just think, oh my gosh, did people like it? Is it liked? Is it well received? And then approval, right? So when you do something for someone else and they thank you, they celebrate you, or simply just acknowledge you, you get a hit. And it feels good and you're motivated to keep doing it. But when you quietly just keep a promise to yourself, there's no applause, there's no gold star, there's no audience, and that is where most people will just quit. But I have really good news, and I am a huge believer in this. You can retrain your brain to generate dopamine, the same dopamine from all of that external validation, from internal validation. I'm serious. You can teach your brain to find reward in follow through, not just feedback. Sit on that for a second. You can teach your brain to find reward in follow through, not just feedback. That little surge of, I did it after doing something hard, even though no one saw it, that is dopamine too. It's quieter, but it is there. And while that internal dopamine might not sustain you forever, listen, I'm not saying you need to live a life chasing dopamine. It's dangerous, okay? Dopamine chasing is not something that you can do long term. But if you're working on something in the beginning, dopamine is key. right? When you are building new habits, it is key. And I'm going to go to two of my favorite authors here to really back me up here. And the first one's going to be Dan Sullivan, right? Because here's the word I want you to change. Instead of new habits, right, which I'm going to quote James Clear in a second, but instead of thinking about new habits, I want you to focus on the second sentence, the second part of the sentence, rebuilding self-trust. I want you to, honestly, I want you to write it down. I don't care if you're driving. I don't care what you're, like, pull over, go rewatch this when you get in your office. I want you to write down this little phrase, rebuilding self-trust. Giving your brain a reason to keep going before the results are visible, helping anchor identity before there's anything to show for it. Dopamine can do all of this to help bridge the gap between who you are and who you're becoming. But what I want you to understand is that this self-trust that you are actually rebuilding, which is why you need these dopamine hits, it is the foundation of confidence. It's not about talent. It's not about who's the most motivated. It's not about who believes what they're doing is the most important thing. It is this. When I say I'll do something, I believe myself. When I say I'll do something, I believe myself. And when you don't have that, you second guess. You start and you stop. You don't take risks because deep down you're afraid you're going to let yourself down again. But when you do build that kind of self-trust, you know what happens? You become absolutely unstoppable because you stop needing that external validation to keep going. You stop seeking the approval and you just become your own source of consistency. Does not sound like in this industry and in this world where there are so many shiny objects and there's so much start stop, does that not just sound like crack cocaine to you? It does to me. I mean, it just changes everything. Self-trust is the foundation of confidence. I want you to take that away today. Add that with a little James Clearism. James Clear wrote Atomic Habits. I had the privilege of hearing him speak in person one time, and he makes you feel so stupid because what he's saying is so simple, but it does really seem like it is the thing that could change your life. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. Those votes, they count, even when no one sees them. So if you're struggling to stay consistent, if you've been amazing at showing up, and there's probably a lot of you on this call that have, for everyone else, but you're constantly ghosting yourself, I just want to say that you're not broken, you're not weak, you've just been chasing the wrong dopamine. But you can change it. You can build the identity of someone who shows up for themselves. And get this, real estate agents, on the days it's exciting and on the days it's boring. And you can start that right now on Monday, today. So what is one promise you're keeping yourself this week? Don't tell me. Don't do it for a trophy. Don't do it for praise. Don't go post it on the internet and say, I watched this amazing video and now today I've committed to doing X, Y, and Z. If you need some accountability, go quietly find an accountability partner. Self-trust is built one small vote at a time. Self-trust is built one small vote at a time. So start voting for yourself. Start showing up for you. I think this is one of the most important conversations we can have right now because there is a lot of days where I don't feel like I've got a strong foundation and footing on what's going on around me. This past week, wowee, what a lot to follow. Doomsday, great day, doomsday, great day, back and forth and back and forth. The only thing that I had control over was trusting in myself to do the things that I said I was going to do to move the needle forward. That's it. So take these two things, combine them, be a superhero this week for yourself, show up for yourself. If you need any conversations surrounding this, I know Allison and I love to have conversations like this. I'd love to tell you how to organize your sales funnel, and I'd love to tell you how to circle prospect at a high level, but these are the conversations that I truly crave. So if this is somewhere you're struggling, reach out, don't struggle alone, and make it an amazing week.